Did you know that according to the Super Mario World instruction manual, the sunken ghost ship just outside the Valley of Bowser is actually a crashed airship used by the Koopalings in Super Mario Bros. 3. The only clue to this connection in the game is a ball with a question mark in it that Mario collects at the end of the level. This is one of the same balls that's acquired when Mario defeats a Boom Boom in Super Mario Bros. 3. The Boom Booms were encountered multiple times through the game, and some of them were in airships. The fact that that ship is full of ghosts could also be implying all the common enemies on board had died during the event that sunk the ship. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, if you switch to first-person view in the Shiverburn Galaxy during the missions Prince Picante's Peppery Mood and Octo Army Icy Rainbow Romp, then look up at the cliffs in the scenery, 3 shadowy figures can be seen staring down at you. As you progress through the level, if you stop and look up to the left at any point, they'll be there, as if they're following you. You can't go closer to inspect them. You can't even reach them by hacking the game, as they appear to be a texture that's always rendered at a fixed distance from Mario. You never meet these figures in the game, and nobody in the game ever refers to them or even mentions their existence. A member over at GoNintendo.com with the alias Grrr Tacos got curious about the figures and started to search through Super Mario Galaxy 2's game data. They discovered that the shadowy figures themselves are labeled Hell Valley Sky Tree and are associated with the sky model for that area called Beyond Hell Valley. Hell Valley isn't the name of that level or any level in Mario Galaxy 2. It was supposedly the name of a beta level that didn't make it to the final cut, but it doesn't particularly sound like a name you'd see in a Mario game, and that doesn't explain why or how the texture found its way into Shiverburn Galaxy. A lack of any kind of explanation from Nintendo has led to all kinds of creepypasta posts and rampant speculation among fans. It seems they'll remain a mystery until Nintendo reveals what they are. The official story for the original Super Mario Bros. Game contains a dark secret. According to the game's instruction booklet, one day the Mushroom Kingdom was invaded by the Koopas, a tribe of turtles who use their black magic to transform the Mushroom People into stones, bricks, and even plants. The only person who can undo the Koopa spell is Princess Toadstool, who's being held captive by Bowser. Completing the game and freeing Princess Toadstool ensures the curse is lifted and all the residents that survived are transformed back. It sounds fairly tame, but think about what you actually do as Mario in the game. Shatter hundreds of brick blocks. You unwittingly massacred hundreds of innocent toads. There was once a direct sequel to Super Mario World in development called Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. The game was being developed by Novalogic under the contract between Philips and Nintendo that allowed Philips to develop some games using Nintendo characters. It was suggested to Novalogic by a Nintendo employee that they port simpler Super Nintendo games to the CDI rather than attempting to make complex games like The Legend of Zelda. This comment sparked the idea of having Super Mario World as a CDI disc-based game and ultimately led to the development of an entirely new game. 2 designers worked 24 hours a day for 2 weeks straight, finishing only a part of a single level to present to Nintendo. Nintendo was actually very impressed with Novalogic's efforts, but because of the poor sales of the CDI later in its life, they decided to cancel the game. Novalogic were obviously disappointed as they hoped the game would improve their reputation and clear their name after making several subpar games with Nintendo franchises. The game's final prototype was finished on March 3rd, 1993, after about a year of development. Approximately 80% of the game's art, 95% of its design, and 30% of its code was completed. Only 3 copies of these prototypes are in circulation, and as a result, the game's ROM was leaked online. The missing portion of code is clear to see, as Mario can only walk left, right, and jump. No power-ups exist in the game, and he can't slide or swim. Enemies disappear when Mario is above them, as if there's an incomplete stomping mechanic. Enemies also can't hurt Mario, and simply freeze when they're touched. Levels are completed by passing through a giant M, and there were around 3 levels in each world. The worlds were based around ancient cultures, haunted structures, a jungle, the Arctic, a chemistry lab with no graphics, as well as wacky and tubular worlds. Tubular being an homage to the special world in Super Mario World. Vivian, one of Mario's party members from Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, was actually born a man. The earliest translation we could find of the Japanese text was from themushroomkingdom.net in May 2005. Vivian's party member description roughly translates to one of the Shadow Group. Vivian appears to be a girl, but is really a boy. There's also Goombella's tattle ability. When speaking about Vivian, Goombella will say,
"That's Vivian of the Shadow Group. She's the youngest sister. Brother."
Some dialogue has confused fans as to whether Vivian was born a man or a woman. One of Vivian's 2 sisters, Bedlam, uses the term Majotachi when referring to Vivian and her sisters as a group. Majotachi means a group of sorceresses, but this could just be because it's considered proper to refer to transgender persons as whatever gender they identify themselves as. Her sisters also refer to her as a man, though that could be meant as an insult. At the end of the game, Goombella concludes that Vivian is a woman. What's overlooked about this particular statement is that it could be vindication for Vivian, identifying her as a woman woman after her struggles with gender identity and ridicule from her sisters. While the English version was heavily censored, removing all traces of gender issues, other translations of the game stayed true to the original Japanese story. The Spanish version was practically unchanged, and the Italian version stated that Vivian was a woman but had previously been a man. That's all for today, but don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Make sure you also check out DidYouKnowGaming.com, where we post gaming trivia multiple times a day, every day. If you like this video, check out our other videos. And hey, if you want more Mario, you should go over to Game Grumps. We're playing Mario Party. Mario Party 4. Come party with us.